What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 15 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Karl Franz Old World campaign. So as we saw last time, a bunch of battles with I think my favorite being Gavin von Wolfen's fight against the 2.5 Skaven stacks that allowed his Drekvald riders to shine, though once again it remains to be seen whether they remain in his army, but anyway, allowed them to shine by splitting off a third of the Skaven stack while we held the hill with the rest of the infantry. Turned out to be a pretty darn solid strategy there, if I say so myself, and I'm sure we'll encounter a Skaven again in various locations, and before long, especially Clan Grutnik, who are still kind of annoying in being in our territory, and by the looks of it, are looking to threaten Oakenhammer. This place seems cursed to repeatedly get attacked by things, but anyway, in terms of what we gotta do this time around, I think we're pretty much done in this turn, or at the very least, I don't remember if we had anything to do. What I do remember is that I didn't want to end the turn, because as soon as we did, we would get the Skaven of Clan Treatrick out of Blackclaw Lair, and possibly the orcs as well, attacking Balthazar Gelt. So we're going to end the turn, I guess, and we're going to find out whether they've got a big old fight in the store for us. Also, somebody asked in the comments of, I want to say previous episode or the episode before that, about the second sort of menu here in the Electoral machinations, and that is this diplomatic talks thing. It's similar to the High Elves and their improve and decrease relations ability. I, for the life of me, can't find any use for this for the Empire, because it doesn't affect the Wood Elves. It does affect the High Elves, but Teclis, and he's a little bit weird for an elf, doesn't have a bad relationship with the dwarfs anyway, so there's no real point to, you know, getting them friendly with each other, as they're already reasonably friendly, especially since they're fighting the same enemies. If it doesn't affect Wood Elves, which would be the main issue, because we'd love to get additional relationship with them, and nobody else we really care about. I mean, we could get bonus relationship with, for example, the Bretonnians, but what does that do for us? We're already pretty darn friendly with all of them, and allied with all of them as well. I guess there's these High Elves, we could get their relationship up with somebody, but I don't think anybody's going to suddenly attack the Continental Exarchate, and most factions aren't near them because they have no friendly relations either. I suppose one potential use is if we hadn't gone for a military alliance with the Grand Provinces, we could have decreased the relationship between Stirland and Sylvania and had them wipe them out for us, rather than having to do it ourselves. But since we're in a military alliance, they'd simply drag us into the war anyway. So yeah, I can't think of one. If anybody can think of something that we can actually use this for to our benefit, please let me know. I guess we could increase the relationship between ourselves and Jiao Ming, but again, he's already allied with us, like the other Cathayan factions are, so what does that really give us? And it doesn't affect the ogres, which actually might have been helpful, but yeah. All of the factions that are listed here are essentially factions we're already super friendly with, and factions that are more or less friendly with each other. I guess if your empire is in absolute shambles, then it would be a better thing. But anyway, if anybody has any ideas on that, let me know. But otherwise, let's end the turn. Let's see what Gelt has to deal with over the end turn. Go. Alright, Ferric's last attempt to, well, not really attack. This is them destroying themselves because they have no settlements remaining. One desperate last attack from a mob of Skaven slaves, perhaps looking to rise up in the world and eat their former masters in the form of the clan rats and the grey seers and whatnot, but alas, they will not get the chance. Out of resolve. And alright, what do we have here? It looks like Clan Treatrick will actually attempt to attack us before, well, by themselves. I do wonder whether that means that the Greenskins move after Treatrick, which is unfortunate for the rats, and we're certainly and definitely going to fight it, because it's always fun to see them get obliterated by rocketry. Go. Alrighty, here we go. I wasn't really expecting a choke point battle, but, well, I think the rockets will enjoy it, at least, if they actually hit. Just call it a ranging first to start the day, or the ranging shot to start the day. Though, the enemy will hit us back with a Warp Lightning Cannon, which, by the looks of it, has hit our Silverin Guard, taking out 6 of their number, and probably dishing out a little bit of damage to the units directly behind them. Still, we're bound to take good advantage of this choke point here, though, now that I think about it, okay, wait, here comes another shot from that Warp Lightning, very nice shot, and ooh, so wait, if you deliver enough damage, you can actually kill Knights of the Black Rose despite Iron Resolve. Hit points greater than 50% entities cannot die while ability is active, but we did just see one die. I wonder what the limitation on that thing is. I assume that it doesn't mean that the entity has to have more than 50%. Or maybe it does. Maybe it's not that the 50% have the entire unit, but 50% of each individual knight in the pile. But anyway, a big old pile of rats on this hill, and we got a big old pile of rockets heading directly towards them. Let's see how long it takes for them to get to us, though funnily enough, as I was starting to say before I get distracted like 50 times, it might have actually been better to deploy all the way back there and allow the enemy to essentially funnel themselves into the choke point, wherein they would obviously get brought down by all those rockets. Anyway, speaking of the rockets, the enemy Blackclaw and Warp Lightning Cannon have been destroyed with a little bit of help from Gelt, and speaking of Gelt, he's going to pop off that glittering robe, physical and missile resistance, partly to help out against any stray shots from any enemies, and then partly to help out against that Doom Wheel, which admittedly is taking a fair bit of time to be brought down. But that's alright. I do like using the knights in this manner on occasion, especially when they're not shock cav, because it sort of helps the line. No big ol' unit essentially can charge through the lines like this, even if we're not using them as cav, really. But the extra mass is nice, and plus this is a nice little shot for Gelt's army, since the rockets have a tendency to do a lot of the work for him. There we go, gonna bring down a Searing Doom on the big old pile of rats, and we got, well, actually, plenty more where that came from, though. The bounce power is in our favor, only slightly, at about, maybe 55-60%. Here comes the Helpit Abomination as well, getting ready to move in, and we're going to counteract that by sending our Empire Captain to reinforce the Silverin Guard. And it does look like the Elves are having to hold a heck of a lot back, as the Rat Ogres have joined the Helpit Abomination. And this thing's got a lot of HP and a lot of potential damage coming in, well, while the Transmutation of Lead upgraded is reducing it by 2/3, it's not hitting nearly as hard as it might. And of course we got that Glittering Robe upgraded popping off again. Gelt can cast that thing for so cheap. I think it's 1 mana that he can cast it. I always gotta remember with Gelt to essentially, even if he should run out of mana in a fight, essentially keep like 5 around so that he can essentially permanently keep popping off those glittering robes when on cooldown. Anyway, the Knights and the Silverin Guard are fighting well and actually looking pretty good together. And the Silverin Guard may be all silvery, but the red shields still match nicely with the Knights of the Black Rose. Now I'm almost wondering whether they would actually match more than the Knights of the Knights of the Blazing Sun. Maybe we'll get a couple of them in here just to compare. And yes, this is very important. All about coordinating the outfits of the army. This is the Empire. We gotta kill things and we gotta look good doing it. Alright, Gehenna's Golden Hand's gonna come down together with a Searing Doom right upon that blob of Rat Ogres. They were starting to get annoying. The Helpit Abomination's down to about half of its HP, but our Empire Captain, who has been attempting to duel it, has also nearly died, down to a mere 1,000, or 15% or so, of his HP. Gelt has in the meantime killed off, or at least heavily damaged, the Packmaster. That was down with the Helpit Abomination and the Rat Ogres, and will be turning to fight the Helpit as well. Helpit is also also probably easily capable of killing off that Celestial Wizard, but we're going to pop him down here so he can apply that blinded melee attack and melee defense debuff on the Help It, and gonna also pop off a final transmutation to help out a little bit, and ooh, gotta be careful with those rockets, though I think they were actually firing at some runners. And there we go with that at last. That abomination topples. Certainly took a while to get there. And with that, I do believe the last of the enemy rats will rout, and the battle will be ours. I do like this this map. This clear sort of hill that we got back here was pretty cool watching the rats approach. And we did certainly take damage. We had to back off one of our units of spears, and okay, actually these units of pikes actually might have taken some damage from the Sunmaker there. I see some very suspicious explosions with the rear ranks all lying dead, and it's amusing me tremendously. But anyway, we did have to back off the Silveran Guard, who took about 50% of their damage, but will recover to about 3/4 of their HP post-fight. Anyway, a lovely little battle. Alrighty, there we go. A very, very nice fight, and I like the fact that despite the fact that we held a choke point with a bunch of the rocket batteries, the Skaven were still able to get through and move towards us. And several things, like the Rat Ogres, were able to dish out decent bits of damage. The Help It abomination nearly killed our Empire captain, which was fairly concerning there at the time. Gelt, of course, managed to rack up 1,157 kills and 121,000 damage. Pretty darn solid, but of course the rocket batteries also hovering between 400 to 900 kills on the Sunmaker, and just generally all did pretty well. The Knights of the Black Rose here actually helped bolster the line quite nicely, again not being shock cav. But nonetheless, I don't want... yeah, I'll think about it. We'll see what we do. I'm almost tempted to keep up a couple of them in Gelt's army just because, but they just don't have enough gold on them. But anyway, I guess we'll want to heal up in case the orcs attack, and plus we'll have to auto-resolve, and, you know, 855 ain't all that much cash. So praise Sigmar. Alright, first of all, I do notice that Hobnails, Gork's Chosen is still not being replaced by Azag, and annoyingly, Dmitry Tsaryov is still sitting there, which means, yeah, okay, I'll give it one more turn, but I don't think Azag is coming back, unfortunately. Again, I don't know whether you can replace a Lord while they're in the settlement with another Lord when Azag comes back, but I fear that it's not the case. Mordheim besieged by... no, oh, right, the Changeling's little army besieged them, but was destroyed by the Stirland army. Good for them. Enemy killed in battle, faction destroyed Clan Ferric as they attacked. Barded Warhorse for troop train. No, we're not paying for your mechanical horse. You're a troop train. Ally mission successful. Ally attacks army. There it is. Opal Amulet. Moonhowler's Wafail. Settlement lost Ulfenic, which was up here. And... huh, there's a Orky army over here. There's a, oh, right, I remember you now. That's interesting. Certainly would like these guys to get into a nice fight with them. What I would also like, let's see. I assume you can't reach us here. So, settlement lost, technology researched. Ooh, okay, wait, that's important. That's very important. +5 recruit rank for battle wizards. That's real nice. Alrighty, so let's take a look at what kind of battle wizards we got on offer here. First of all, we need a light college mage for Stefan von Kessel, and we need a life mage. If I what do we have here? Cryomancer, which isn't bad because of the melee defense. I don't particularly care for Glacial Blast, but I'm also kind of not super willing to wait a billion years for the oh, I do like the targeting range for spells. Let's do this. Fixated targeting range for spells for the light college guy.
I serve no master.
I do wish that light college mages, like Amber Wizards, had a unique mount and would be able to get a Luminarch as a mount. That would be neat. But anyway, Barded Warhorse, Imperial Pegasus. I guess a light lore is already so strong it doesn't really need it. Anyway, you're going to join Stefan von Kessel, and I love the fact that you're now starting at rank 20. And then, rather than waiting, once again, we'll go for the Battle Wizard. And what does Apt again do? It's an explosion if you get attacked, but you're on a Pegasus, and frankly, there's very little in the game that can actually catch a Pegasus, especially with a self-healing mage there. I'm just going to say go Cryomancer. A little bit of relationship with Kislev as well as a melee defense is not too bad, especially since these guys don't have... Yeah, they're fine. Just ignore me. Alright, so that's your 2 mages. We'll probably need mages for other armies, but we'll see to them in a bit. Emil von Corden. I guess... Okay, you know what? You can go into... okay, fine. A recruiter, you can go into East End. Like so. And then we'll pop you into City North just to save on the costs. You... I would like you to build Stefan von Kessel 2 Luminarchs. I wanted to invest in our economy, but he's so close that I feel like we should build them anyway. And then von Kessel, you are very close to grabbing both the Luminarchs and the Light College Mage. Lovely. I would also like you to have some Sigmarite disciples, but that's going to take, what? I don't know, some number of turns until we get there. Ooh, one more turn until the Imperial Palace. Yes, considering all the Confederation debuffs. Very, very nice. What do we have in terms of Empire Captain capacity? 12 out of 15. We could probably use at least summon Toddbringer's army, though at the same time I'm not 100% sure whether he'll have enough room for them. He's currently at 16 out of 20. He'll want a mage, most likely, and probably at least a couple more of the Teutogan Guard. Just the guard alone will put him at 18 out of 20. 19 out of 20 if we give him... the White Wolves. We could reduce this slightly by removing a Wolfkin, but yeah, there's not enough space. 20 units is just not enough for everything you want. Anyway, you're gonna pop into Boris's army. He will need a warrior priest, especially to help these guys. And I will think about it. I still think that the things in the woods are a perfect fit in this particular army because they represent the children of Ulrich. Also, do we have any more room for additional Teutogan Guard? Ooh, we got 2 Grand Cauldron regulars. Oh, right, and I had some thoughts about this. Oh, and we got 2 more Dracold Riders if we should want them. Yes. Anyway, I had some thoughts on that. I was originally thinking we go Ostland with Ogres, but... because, you know, Stubborn Bulls plus Ogre Bulls. But I think maybe instead we will give... Let me just see here. Marius Lightdorf. He already has 1 unit of regular Ogre Bulls. We could pop a few more in there. I do wish this was a other type of Ogre unit, but whatever. Pop a few more in there, and out of all the Elector counts, Marius Lightdorf going from abandoning his Elector countship as of Averland, and then becoming the Elector of the Moot, and then befriending, and then staying in the company of a bunch of ogres, just feels absolutely appropriate for the local madman. But anyway, I think that'll work nicely, meaning we can give him some of the Grand Cauldron regulars as well. Plus, he is the Elector count of the Moot, and they're from there, so it also makes sense. I don't like the fact that this corruption reduction and weapon strength fun fighting vampire counts is wasted on him, but, you know, I don't think there's any nearby that can take advantage of this. The question is, what troops do we get rid of? I don't know right now, so I'm just going to pop one of these Grand Cauldron regulars in your army so that they can... Oh, I was about to say so that they can start their cooldown, but there's no need. We got 3 turns until we can reset the cooldowns via requisition. So the only ones really that matter would be the ones happening before that, and I think that's only the Northern Mariners. Yeah, alright, we'll deal with them as we go. Anyway, Karl, you're stuck as you are. Let's, okay, well, we could take after. Dolph. Oh, we got another full stack. Yeah, these orcs are certainly, they're certainly numerous wherever they are. But again, oh, this is actually going to be a potential problem. With these guys there as well, that's going to be 3.5 stacks. All right, Dolph. I guess we're just going to keep throwing challenges your way, sir. Hi, he's met every challenge we've pitted him against, and, well, he's just gonna have to keep on doing it. Ammunition for the Lord's Army, I think we'll do that. And keep going through gun sights so that you get your personal damage higher. I'm actually tempted to give you a talisman now, because there's a decent likelihood of you getting hurt. This is a lot of enemies. I don't really care about Woodsman, but the missile resistance isn't bad until we get a better type of amulet for you. Your armor is already pretty insane. And, I mean, I don't see you running out of ammunition, but let's do it for now. He already has Strider, so Woodsman is probably not the most useful thing to have, but we'll keep it. We have a limited amount of those types of items. These types of items, however, like the Wand of Jet and the Scroll of Power, I think we're free to get rid of. And what did that become? A Scroll of Aramar. Honestly, I don't really care for the Scrolls of Aramar either, at least not that much. And that will make us a Book of Ashur. Okay, 2 of these are going to Gelt's army, but the third one we're free to put elsewhere. Anything else here that we can feel free to get rid of and turn into a better item? I'm still okay with the Shrieking Blade, at least for now, and possibly the Relic Sword, just because they give magical attacks. The Opal Amulets aren't bad. We can potentially put them on Warrior Priests because... Or possibly even... Nah, Mages should have the magical defenses ones. But yeah, Warrior Priests, they do get targeted by things. Being support units and all that, but anyway, we'll deal with that later. For now, let's see what we've got here available to us. The Burning Head, let's max it out. We're definitely going to need it in this particular fight. Piercing Bolts, probably not as much. Let's move through Power Sap. I don't really care for Fireball, so we're not going to bother putting points in it, and we're not attacking, so this isn't as used. So I'm going to say cooldown reduction for spells. Hey, you. Already got your Retinue. We can do Judgment, or... I mean, I guess let's do Judgment, Enemy, or Leadership Size. Minor reduction, and then of course the Engineer, who's already maxed out Triangulation, and we are the Elite, which were the important things, so I guess now it's time to move towards extra powder. And grab you, I think, Piercing Shots. Because the rest of this doesn't really help you. The leadership is irrelevant, you're behind the line, the ammunition is irrelevant because you never run out, and speed is not relevant because you already move at 72 on the mechanical steed, and you're only trying to keep pace with the free company, which you can very much do. Alright. Back to the order. Gavin von Wolfen. Well, we could move you to take the Veil of Webs should we desire to do so. I'm pretty sure this isn't actually a walled settlement for all the fact that the game says it is. Although, even if it is, the game won't let... That's a question. Or we could bypass them and go this way, but the thing is we can't really leave them there, and that's just going to be an issue for us. Either way, Elspeth, I'd like you to go to Munzig. Yes, I also now remember that we were going to do some changes in your army, but we'll get there. Alright, let's see if this is auto-resolvable. What do we have here? Close victory, but casualties low. So maybe. I don't trust you auto-resolve, so I'm gonna quick save. Probably gonna hurt, but it's not a battle worth fighting compared to what Elspeth has fought. Yeah, see, that's why I quick saved. You see how it didn't say that the war wagons were gonna die, but then killed the war wagons? That's why. Alright, I'm going to... no, we're not returning this to any Elector. I am going to reload that because the game is being silly. Alright, silly or not, it just happens, I suppose. We will then manually fight this as a minor settlement. It is not. Alright, we're just gonna manually fight this real quick because it's a silly fight that we shouldn't need to fight, but the auto-resolve likes to lie, apparently, and also kill some of your units sometimes. I don't understand how that can even be a thing. Like, to literally do the calculation and then do the thing that you said you're gonna do. Isn't that the point of the preview? What can you do? It is a modded unit, admittedly, but I feel like I've seen it happen to regular war wagons and possibly other chariots before, so it might not only be affecting them. Anyway, start deployment. We will do this right quick. Elspeth, you're going to move over to the enemy. I don't particularly like this terrain, but let's do up here. For you all, and then the cannons just in front. You can stay near everybody. I think you have more powder available to you, or at least I hope that you do. You guys can be down here. You can, well, Alright, these are these two. Yeah, alright, you guys can move down here. You guys stay here and stay here. Tank, I would like you to do this. Don't really care if you get charged, and then you guys can get at least a few volleys in on the enemy before we move you away. Elspeth, you're fine. And you hover over here, and I would like everybody actually to turn off their skirmish mode, including you. You knights stay back, and I believe that's all we gotta do, yes? Now, at least this way we'll preserve the HP on the tank, which likes to get, you know, horrifically damaged completely unnecessarily. Alright, you guys get ready to move. You pop off that Forbidden Rod and then Spirit Leech, and then you guys back away from Big Boy there. Speaking of Big Boy, I believe you're about to be a dead squig. You know what? Don't let it charge, actually. Yeah, it's gonna go after the wagons. Elspeth, you can just land while the wagons back away. Tank, just keep firing. It doesn't really matter at what. Elspeth should be able to handle it just fine. Speaking of Elspeth, let's pop off a Purple Sun, just a quick one. Alright, and artillery. Let's have you go into guard mode and get ready to target those rock lobbers. Oh, there's two rock lobbers. Alright, well, good for the rock lobbers. Alright, Elspeth's gonna take a little bit of damage, but she has Death's Timekeeper, so she doesn't really care. And I see some pump wagons sneakily going into the trees. Good for them. Alrighty, the big old squiggy is dead. Let's lift off in a second. And you know what, just rather than, well, yeah, Spirit Leech you. Cannons, I would like you to fire at the squig. In fact, tank, fire at the squig as well. You, Elspeth, go for the Savage Orc. And then you can pop off the Death's Timekeeper on him as well. And then you can move on in and then get your Dragon Breath out. Hey, if it isn't those snotling pump wagons. Alright, you guys back it up. And we got more snotling pump wagons moving in. Okay, hopefully you can just intercept them all. Alright, you guys better not get caught, and I think we're going to... No, go this way. Don't go towards the frickin' charging boar boys. What are you doing? Alright, Elspeth, I assume you've gotten your spell off. Looks good to me, and I don't see an enemy lord, so yes, I think you did just fine. Alright, tank, nice charge through the boar boys, and then we can keep backing off. You guys are going to need to move to help out those Knights of the Black Rose, which are taking a little bit of damage. Pop off a Purple Sun, and maybe a Spirit Leech on the enemy lord as well. We have mana to spare. Alright, good job to the tank, and you guys move out here. And let's back off the more damaged units of Knights of the Black Rose. They won't die until they're below half HP, but I'd still prefer them not to, you know, take unnecessary casualties. Elspeth, you can... I was gonna say Forbidden Rod again, which might not be... Well, you might be a little bit damaged. You know what? Let's retarget the artillery, or specifically the Hailstorms at the enemy Arrow Boys, since they're annoying Elspeth. And let's back the tank away, lest they get damaged by our own units. Pump wagons, war wagons, not to be confused. Still taking damage. There we go. Let's target that Black Orc Big Boss again with that Spirit Leech. And do we need to Fate of Buna anybody? I don't think there's anything that's actually of any real concern to us left, so not really. Just a matter of time now. Alright. War wagons are good. You don't need to do anything. Not even use the Burning Head. This guy's about to get killed. We got what? A few more seconds until Death's Timekeeper. Would like to keep Elspeth a little bit more healthy. Okay, you don't need to fire this way anymore. You guys are good. The enemy is just about done for. I'll let us speed this up for a few seconds. You can kill that orc boss. Death's Timekeeper. Just want to allow Elspeth to heal a teensy bit using that while she uses it. How long does that last for? I don't know. She also has regeneration. Alright, she should now, I think, 20%. Will she heal 20% over the end turn? I'm just going to assume that she will. Good enough. Alright, obviously this was an auto-resolvable battle that we obviously should have been able to auto-resolve, because we didn't even really have to move or form our army up properly or anything like that, but, yeah, no. Auto-resolve don't like those war wagons sometimes. Which is surprising, considering it's a fast unit, and, I mean, I guess they do have a decent amount of cav, but I don't know. And the fragile light cav would have been obliterated by the war wagons. Or just shot up by cannons from a distance. For the time that we maintain cannons in this particular army, again, I want the steam tank to replace them so that we got more room for heroes. Hey, a banner of eternal flame. That'll be very nice for our fire army or armies. Occupy again.
Let us take it.
I like so. Yeah, I got that seasoned campaigner for you as well. And another extinguished phoenix pinion. Yes, every mage will have one except Elspeth. And Gelt, I guess. Yo, do you have an extinguished phoenix pinion? Alright. More speed on all characters. Okay, that's magic items, not ancillary, is my bud. There you go, there you go. Everybody deserves their own phoenix pinion. Theodric von Blutten. You are Averland. Averland being sort of anti-orcs and siege specialists, so we will probably want to at least somewhat modify the army's composition. Oh, whoa, 3 caskets of souls. That's actually very concerning in this particular army. Huh. Alright, well, that's a very fun fight by the looks of it. Let's do it. Let's see, you. Oh, right, I was going to reset you, but you still want on a steel. You'll probably want artillery master. You have stand your ground. Taste for battle won't work if you don't use cav, or we won't need if you don't use cav, but that might change depending on whether we, well, how we change you up. Alright, let's do Sigmar's word then. You'll probably also want Imperial Gunnery. Alrighty, also let's level you. You have Chain Lightning maxed out, which is the main thing. We could probably get another point in Wind Blast or... You know what? Let's max out our Enhanced Thunderbolt for this. I want to see how much damage it can do to a Casket of Souls, which I'm not sure. I never tried. Or at the very least, I don't recall ever trying, which might mean I have tried it, but just no longer remember it. Anyway, Mighdal Vongalbarak, we're about to attack you, but let's do a little round of naming, shall we? It's been a bit. Like an episode. Alright, mostly I just want to do a round of naming. So, you can be the Hellbards, like so. Oh, you can do dashes. And they work. Unlike full stops, which don't work, but anyway. Drekvald Watchers. Yes, and... Again, I don't know how many halberds we're going to keep in this army, so we will wait on you. Oh, you know what we do? I did say I want to keep the swordsman in this army, because, you know, it's got to have basic swordsmen somewhere. Let's name some swordsmen, at least one. Swords of Averland. Also makes sense, considering they're in the Averlander army. Lovely. Where are we guaranteed to keep huntsmen and long rifles? I think here. So, you, huntsman. The Merry Men. And these are Gunnerman Surefires. Let's name the Hawklanders, or the Hawkland Long Rifles. Altdorfer Schützen. I like so. Cliffside Patrols. And Nachtjäger. There we go. Wolfkin. I'm 90% sure we're keeping them in this army, but let's wait a little bit. Also, don't we have a steamship or a land ship delivery going somewhere? I felt like we did, but I don't remember if I actually... You.
What does the Emperor bid?
Yeah, alright, let's give these guys names immediately. They're going to the Nordlander army, but they're going to take a little bit to get there, so you can be unsinkable. And you can be the Jackdaw. And while we're... Okay, you know what? Also, you can also move while you're at it. Also, while we're talking Nordlander army, might as well name some of the Nordland Mariners. We don't have any names for any of you, so that's... this is a good time to do it. Nordland Wait, do I have names for you guys? No. Oh, yeah, we do. Alright, Back Alley... Scallywags. And Hagendorf. Hunters. Alright, I might as well name a couple of the ogre units as well while we're here. Nordlander Man-o-Wars. And just double checking that none of them already have names. And you can be the Hungry Boys. Alright, good enough for now. Let's I think, then sack Scapa Fjord. It's probably not worth much, but you never know. On resolve. little bit of damage. Free long shots cap. We'll probably swap that out to something. Oh, stacking is basically worthless here. But oh well. It's free XP and stuff. And then Mr. Wagner, you can go to Arvik, which we will eventually trade to the Ursun Revivalists. Auto resolve, a little bit more damage, but I think nobody can reach us here, so we're fine. And you heal at a pretty good rate. So Forsaken Crown really still helping us. Oh, armor of silvered steel gives 40 armor now. Oh, they made that significantly better. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, build the cheap training field for when we trade it. It'll make it worth more. I don't think we're gonna take all the money from the Ursun Revivalists, but you know. Make it worth more, just in case. Okay, so Gavin von Wolfen, hold off, buddy. I might have you attack and I might not. Voldemar Biber, you have taken the Oak of Prophecy and are now going to move southward. Though funnily enough, ooh, actually Silent Isle would be a really good pickup if these guys aren't able to do it to themselves. Alright, well, you're gonna have to move southward anyway. That hasn't really changed. And we will probably take out your Hellblasters once again because I don't like the fact that they get no buffs from you. Oh, actually, speaking of artillery, I guess generally speaking, did I name any of these guys? I did not. Alright, let's name a couple of the Hellstorms. Deathstrike launchers. Let's do 2. And how about Morslebe delivery system? Oh wow, can't believe that fit. Just barely, I think. Lovely. Alrighty, speaking of GLT, I guess you are going to... Wait, we're not keeping this place, are we? The Yellow Territory, Blackclaw Lair... Oh wow, it's a tier 5. Huh. I'm wondering, if we keep it, would there be a way to transfer it to the dwarfs? It would probably be difficult, but... How much is it worth for sack value? 4.8k. Not that much, to be perfectly honest. Might actually be worth more in trade than it would be from sacking it. I think we'll just auto-resolve. Gambler's Armor, nice pick up and not sack it. Which allows us to take it at tier 4 and thus be worth a fair bit. Free Engineer's Workshop, which is land capacity as well, and Sigmarite Disciples as well. That's pretty nice. We can make use of it for now. And Gelt, yeah, you can hold on to that armor, buddy. Technology. Okay, we'll pick a tech in a sec. Do we need a warrior priest in this army? I wouldn't say so, but really something to think about. Just taking a look at all the traits now. And what do we have? Oh, wait. We can build engineers here now? Oh, because of the engineer's workshop. Oh, beautiful. All right, that worked out. I'm so glad I didn't sack that. And let's go for the clockwork spyglass, I guess. The engineers don't have good traits, so it's kind of meh. Don't really care about it. Got you reached rank 40, eh? That was pretty good. Do you want to get... Well, Mighty Forge isn't useful to us. We will want Speed of Horse, but it's not a huge deal. We will want Strength of Hardship, most definitely, for the Eldred's Guard. It doesn't really benefit the Silverin Guard, unfortunately, who are going to get outstatsed by... They're already... Wow. They're already getting outstats by basic pikemen. But nonetheless, they fit the theme, and they gotta have some units somewhere, and they don't have to be the strongest units everywhere and all that. Gelt, I would still like you to get Golden Face Mask, however. It's a plus 30 armor, which is not inconsiderable. Yeah, and then we'll level up the other guys afterwards. And we still gotta get you a couple of Gold Wizard Apprentices, which we, funnily enough, can't do here, but... Won't this thing allow us to recruit wizards? Yes, it will, so, but it'll take 8 bloody turns to get it. Alright, we're gonna wait on that, especially, I think, until this region is a little bit safer, generally speaking. I guess we also want to go grab Toranrock, but we're not at war with these guys. No, nonetheless, we'll wait on that. Anyway, let's actually start going through the order, other than Gavin, who's waiting. Theodric von Blitten. Oh, right, we were going to fight with you. Go for it. Wait. No. Can you go into trenches? Yes. Go into trenches. You're going to need all the additional missile resistance you can get out of this. 3 Caskets of Souls. If the roles were reversed, I would say that the enemy would obliterate us. And the Ushabti would counter the war wagons with the sniping war wagons. They outrange them a fairly significant amount and not able, and well, the Sepulchral Stalkers would help as well, not allow them to draw close to the Caskets of Souls. It's kind of an interesting matchup. Let's see if we can pull it off. Go.
Victory will be ours!
Alrighty, here we go. This should be a really interesting one. We'll see if we can pull it off at all. I like the pose on the general of the Empire there. It is amusing, but anyway, what was I saying? The enemy has a heck of a lot of range firepower. We basically can't be in the open at all because 3 Caskets of Souls and 3 Ushabti with Great Bow together is a devastating amount, and that's even not counting the 4 Sepulchral Stalkers that they've got around there. So the way that we're doing this is thusly. We're going to start by moving towards them with our Celestial Wizard and our General of the Empire. All the way back here, kind of in the open, are the war wagons of all types, and they're just essentially behind the enemy's range where they can't reach them, while all of our infantry, which would be absolutely decimated should the enemy be able to hit them, are going to be hidden in the trees. More specifically, we're going to make use of the ability of the Hawkland long rifles and their snipe ability, and their hide ability in forests to, first of all, snipe the first of the enemy units of Caskets of Souls, and then start focusing down that Ushabti with Great Bow. Snipe out of the trees works really well. It's a thing that I rarely, ever need to use in these battles in the Hawkland long rifles, but if you're in a situation, and we certainly are in a situation here, we can pull that off. And of course, if the enemy should start charging towards us, we've got other units hidden in the trees waiting as well. Anyway, the Lord, Mr. Theodric von Bluten, will come down. I was hoping to go after that Casket of Souls, but he immediately gets hit with a Curse of Joff as the enemy Tomb Prince starts off very badly damaged. The original charge of the General was actually supposed to hit and immediately kill the Tomb Prince. And was that the Tomb Prince that just died? I think it was. The swipe from the Griffin looked kind of funny, but anyway, I was hoping that the charge would immediately kill the Tomb Prince, like out of the air, but it didn't, and that allowed the Tomb Prince to get that Flock of Joff off, or Curse of Joff off, rather. But what can you do? Trying to make our way through those Sepulchral Stalkers toward that Casket of Souls. Unfortunately, these things are super fragile. There is a second Casket of Souls here, or a third rather, and now that one has been killed, and does look like some other enemy units are moving in. Another unit of Sepulchral Stalkers had decided to head towards the tree line where our Hawkland long rifles were sniping them. I'm going to pop off that Frostbite / the Bound ability, Glacial Blast, that we have on our mage, as he just sort of stopped them in their tracks. Now, the problem is these guys have uncovered our units in the tree line, so it's time to start moving forward as the enemy has gained vision of us. The enemy is fortunately too dumb to sort of immediately charge the Sepulchral Stalkers at our Hawkland long rifles, which it should absolutely do, as we need them to close the distance as quickly as they can and try to go after that Casket of Souls before it kills too many units. Well, and I guess I spoke too soon. Looks like the Sepulchral Stalkers do manage to charge in, but too little too late as the melee troops, the swordsmen and the great swords, close the distance with them, blocking them off while we begin gunning them down with the Nuln Ironsides. And Urnon's Thunderbolt comes down upon the Casket of Souls. They're doing about 30% damage. I believe that was the second or third one I attempted. The first options, I believe, were dodged by the casket. I wasn't expecting an artillery piece that was actively sitting there and firing to actually attempt to dodge it, but it did, so good job to it. That's going to be a big old blast, and yeah, that's why those things are so scary. One single volley, Swords of Averland lose about half of their HP, and of course, the Sepulchral Stalkers and the Ushabti with Great Bow continue firing away. The battle is still very much raging, though the bounce power has started to shift in our favor. Our war wagons have moved in to support on the left flank and have killed off one unit of Sepulchral Stalkers. Pretty solid use of war wagons against monstrous infantry, because against regular infantry, they have that super high overkill damage, since their damage is so high. But sniping single targets like this and monstrous infantry low model units is a perfect job for them. And the enemy Tomb King is still in the fight, but most of his monsters and now all his Caskets of Souls are gone. He's fighting armless here, in fact, but still swinging that Kopesh with gusto. 11 HP, 6 HP, and down falls the King. Oh, it looks like, oh, I was about to say that one infantryman, that one swordsman seems to have sacrificed himself by just sort of ragdolling himself at the Tomb King, a leaping charge sort of deal. I thought that they had both perished, but it looks like the heroic swordsman actually got back up, which is pretty neat. I think somebody suggested a while ago that it would be cool if units essentially could get promoted out of your units, like if a, I don't know, like if an individual killed the Lord, it would become an Empire Captain or something, that sort of deal, and that would really be a neat sort of thing. I hope they implement some, or try out some new ideas like that in the next installment. But anyway, for now, the Tomb Kings are nearly out. I believe the last of the enemy units will melt away in the battle as ours. We certainly took damage there, and it was looking a little bit dicey when they charged us, but at the end of the day, we managed to snipe all of those range units and carry it, though we did take damage. A lovely, lovely fight. Gotta appreciate these guys for being here. Ooh, a rather close fight. Theodoric had a pretty bad experience against the enemy lords. That rampage from the Curse of Jaffa, unfortunately, screwing him over a little bit. The Uranon's Thunderbolt, alas, are relatively useless against the Caskets of Souls, especially when they dodge them. But great work by the Hawkland, long rifles in this particular battle, hiding in the woods and firing from out of the tree line and knocking out several of the critical enemy units in that manner. Again, this being our Averland army, it definitely needs artillery, and we'll get there. We'll get there. Close victory, a lovely little fight. Nice to fight some Tomb Kings as well. Occupy. Now this is all going to be traded to the dwarfs because we want Akendorf and just generally speaking the Old Dwarf Road and the river and the area around the Howling River Valley to be ours rather than the dwarfs. Frankly, if they would be willing to give up Barrack-Var, I'd like to take that as well. But I know it's a dwarfen settlement. It's just that dwarfs don't actually like the hills, and all the territories other than Barrack-Var in this province are hills. I'm just saying, since they hate those hills so much, maybe they shouldn't have them. Governor Hertzella, you have reached rank 15, but I think you're one of the ones that you could get at least. Well, yeah, you're not at Headhunter as yet. We could get Leader of Men, but there's no upkeep reduction to, well, reduce. This gives us a recruitment rank. This gives us nothing, and then this gives us recruitment cost reduction. You are currently. Oh, right, you were waiting to try to pick up Dream Wine, which you still have not managed to do so. But anyway, I guess we'll just go through Quartermaster and into Headhunter first, and then we'll deal with the other stuff later. Alright. Holt Kuldorf. I don't remember who you are. Oh, you're sitting with Marius Leitdorf. I mean, for now, until we're free to declare war on these Skaven, you kind of have to be here. Alright, you know what we can do? We can transfer these two Pistoliers from Gustav Hall. Also, what do you have again? You have defensive, which is a decent trade. Alright, fine. Gustav Hall, take these guys then. And you can deliver them somewhere. I'm not yet entirely sure where. Sit in Lichburg, I guess, and... Oh. I did that the wrong way around. Well, my bad. Alright, you take these guys. And then pop into Castle Drakenhof then, and then you, just so that we don't have as many units on field, we will reset you and possibly send you elsewhere. Marius. Yeah, just keep shadowing these guys, at least you're doing something, and Huh. It got taken by the Broken Wheel, which these guys are now no longer at war with. Okay, can you just declare war on the Broken Wheel as well, please? Or are you going to make us do it for you as well? Where is the Broken Wheel? Right here. Minus 2.9. You want 8.1k. Okay. Marius, go do it for them. Go across the water. Stay near... maybe you don't want to stay near these vets, because I don't know when they can redeclare war on us. You know what? Go ahead and camp stance. You can cross the water next turn. It's not a big deal. And we'll take it, and then we'll give it back to these guys, because, you know, annoyances, minor or major. Let's see. What else do we have in this particular turn? Philip Ivan the Crazy. You're going to deliver these guys until they're ready to some of these armies. Leopold van Bildhofen. You have Tactician, which is fine. I was going to say deliver these knights to Gelt, but frankly, just sit here until the Mermidia army is ready to go. Honestly, it might be, considering how long it might take, even with them having a decent level on them. I mean, I guess they are leveling up every turn. Yeah, fine, keep them. I don't like the fact that they're costing us like 600 gold per turn and doing nothing, but there's nowhere to send them right now. A recruiter Albrecht, I would like to double check whether we have a master engineer yet ready, no, to command your army. I'd like to have one soon. Wulfric Ergiger, you have the Knights of Moor, which I guess we're going to want to move towards Altstad or somewhere where you can eventually put them to use. Mr. Ooh, I see there's an island here. All right. You are going to go through Wuppertal and grab that island on the way south, and ooh, you have nearly reached the way south. Very nice. Been excited to get this army to do stuff. Generally speaking, also Slanesh Giggle. Yeah, you can grab that island and keep on journeying. Oh, did I check Diplo this turn? I feel like I didn't. Ooh, minus 19. He must have lost his army again. And, dude, you're on the verge of being wiped out. Please, would you please? Defenders of the Great Plan. Ooh, Vidrioth. Yes. Yes to Vidrioth.
I can see you.
Yes to all the Wood Elves. Alright, back to this. Defenders of the Great Plan. Sylvania, Hunts Marshal are willing to trade. I think we'll keep it as it is. We'll wait for Anmir and the other Wood Elves maybe just to trade with them instead. Defenders of the Great Plan. I guess we'll do the non-aggression pact. How friendly are you with the... Yeah, you're fine. Okay, that's good. I was worried that they might be angry at the Tomb Kings there. They were kind of upsetty at each other in my Thorgrim campaign, and who knows, they could have repeated that sort of dynamic. Ziflin, Karakazoran, okay, nothing here. Order of the Winter Sun really wants that military access. I mean, I guess we're already at war with the Bloody Hands. Frankly, I feel like these guys are going to be dead soon. Might as well give us your money if you're going to die. I would prefer that they live, obviously, because we can get additional troops from them if that's the case, but I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. And the rest of this, I think, is nobody that we want to ally with. Minus the Great Orthodoxy, of course, but we do. We just want to make sure we get that last territory from them, and they're still probably not willing. But, you know, we'll get there eventually, I hope. Dolph, yeah, okay, you can just sit there until we're ready to fight. Let's see who else needs to fight this turn. Other than potentially Gavin, and I hope I don't forget about him, because it's a distinct possibility. Ralph Brandt. Oh, you were supposed to deliver the Northern Mariners, but funnily enough, you don't really need to do so anymore. Because these guys have taken Arvik, which means they can summon their own Nordland Mariners next turn. Yeah, that's good. That's fine then, at least we'll leave it as it is for now. Our recruiter Beckberg does not need to be recruiting right now because we need this for economy friendly. You're in the same position. Aldebrand Ludenhoff, you're probably going to be used as a governor. Troop train, you will deliver units once we're ready for another army. Humphrey Bruckert, you are definitely going to Castle Aquitaine. So kill Kleba Bootlika for the XP. Ooh, I see Grommy is nearby now. Alright, auto-resolve this for obvious reasons. Oh, this better not kill the war wagons. Okay, it killed a war wagon. And that is also way too much damage. Let me guess, now the game won't let us auto-resolve Castle Aquitaine? It will not. Alright, well you can fight it next turn, damage though you may be. Huh. I'm a little bit also concerned that Grom might be able to reach us in March stance here. I guess we could always back off if needed, then heal up and then attack him after. Let's also put a few points in places. So, you are currently the gunnery army. We will need to upgrade the... Well, actually, everything here is Pistol Core and Mighty Forge, so we'll go for Mighty Forge. Hold the line would be nice as... Oh, well, so would Ballistics Calibration. This is rank 12, meaning we can go... Wait. You know what? Undo skill points. I want to see something. We got 2 units that can benefit from this, so we spend 4 points, but then we wouldn't immediately be able to get ballistics calibration. We need how many? 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, meaning we are able to spend like so, and then we'll have 4. Assuming we ignore either stockpiles or repair and maintain. Alrighty, what about DNGs? Yes to master ballistics for obvious reasons, all-terrain vehicle, mercurial shot, black powder discipline, machinist preparations, triangulation, into restock. Fantastic. You are not yet rank 10, but you're getting there, and besides, you can still get all of this. Like... and go with restock, like so. Lovely, that's a decent power-up for the army. Will they still be willing to sally out? I hope. And we'll see about Grommy as well. Alright, that looks good to me. Okay, I keep clicking on Gavin. Don't worry, Gavin, your time will come. Troop train already checked. Land Admiral Zinkler is waiting. Volodymyr von Rakov is delivering these guys closer to Ostland, well, I guess in Adgig, wherein we will get the Stubborn Bulls army up and running with you. Tech Thieves obviously need to move, so Tech Thief 1. Okay, where are the other Tech Thieves? One is here. And wait, okay, you're fine. Okay, I don't remember where the other Tech Thieves are. I was hoping I could just move over them without going through the list again. That's okay. Steel. And you are one of the... no, you are not one of the lower level ones. Okay, so which ones are... yo. Actually, you're level 8, so 18 rather, so I don't think you're one of the lower level ones either. Ah, love it when they all have a maximum success right now. And I think you're good as well. I mean, I guess we could go Guided by the Stars for the additional campaign movement range, if nothing else. Alrighty, anyway, let's pick a tech while we're here. Now that we have the 8 orders up and running, targeting range for spells, cooldown reduction for spells, the Hall of Duels is really nice for all the wizards, but we don't have enough wizards to take advantage of it yet. This might be a decent time to go through all this to Manorialism, though I'm still inclined to say that we've got really good upgrades available to us in the missiles tree, and I still... oh, you know what? No, let's go State Issued armor first. 10 missile resistance and 10 armor is great. Frankly, I probably should have gotten it earlier. And then we'll move all the way through rifled barrels. We can ignore the cavalry buffs because cavalry are already pretty good, and the artillery as well will wait. This will be the last tree that we do for the steam tanks and land ships and such because, well, it's not super necessary. Gavin. Time for levels and time for some more good old-fashioned fighting. You don't have artillery, though funnily enough, you might, depending on what we do with you. You just make him the Elector Count of Ostland instead, and then trade this to whoever ends up leading Drakvold, since once again these guys don't benefit. But anyway, Blade Shield and Blade Master for now, and ooh, one short of Indomitable. Isn't that a shame? You, Wizard. I guess we should probably go to Onslaught, since we do attack a lot. And I do like the Curse of Anric here, but we might as well. Alright, what about you two? You're both hovering around, well, if not quite the same levels, at least somewhat similar levels. The rest of this looks good, minus the possibility of using Hero, but I'm not sure that you have the spare points for it. So let's go to Hard to Hit and Foe Seeker first. And we'll see if we have spare points later on. You will still get Retinue Bard and finish up with Lead the Stage Troops as well. And then lastly, the Warrior Priest, who went through Bolstered Leadership, will want the additional physical resistance and, I guess, deny the Heretic. Don't really need the Immaculate Flesh reduction, so I think we will go through Faith's Bastion just so that you don't die as easily. I'm gonna say maybe Mark of Kish as well. We will still want these. And we'll definitely want some of these guys in the fire army so that we don't hurt ourselves with our own fire units. Enemy charge bonus reduction minus 10% is kind of interesting. That's certainly something that we could put to use. But anyway, Veil of Webs has a lot of stuff. I'm wondering whether we're better off besieging these guys and allowing them to attack us rather than attacking them directly. A lot of orcs. The problem will be running them down. Either way, they're allied with... okay, we're at war with both of these guys, right? Including Clan... no, we're not at war with Clan Grutnik. Oh, frickin'... and we can't declare war on them because we still have that thing. Ha. Okay, well, sorry, Gavin. I think you're kind of stuck until we figure that out. And I really wish I could taken a look at what turn we pieced. I really regret piecing out with them now because we can't attack them. So just sit here, raid. If these guys attack you, great. If they don't, then, well, they don't. Alrighty. Well, that means nobody else is there to fight. Let's do building. And then let's end the turn. Alright. What do we have here? -2 public order. Oh, you know what? I wanted to double check something.
Sigmar.
I did start the recruitment of... Did I get you a militiaman? Yes, I did. Oh, good job, Past Ruinous. And you have Endless Tinkerer and Headhunter as well. Get you Iron Disciplinarian while you're at it. That should help. There we go. Alright, at least the control is going to be fixed here shortly. We will want to get additional steam tank capacity, but right now I think it's more important that we get more money and develop our undeveloped provinces, as I've been saying. Blackclaw Lair, you're fine as you are. We're not going to invest in you because I don't know whether we're keeping or we're trading you. Black Mounds, you're kind of in the same situation where we want to trade you to the dwarfs, and thus we're probably better off deleting all of this and replacing it with military structures. Bleak Moors, we are investing in you, though. Let's upgrade the town here. Let's upgrade the weaving house, so the exotic hothouse, and I guess at least for now the tap rooms. Again, we will eventually be replacing the tap rooms everywhere, but in the early sort of portions of this we need them. And yeah, alright, let's just keep developing. Yeah, Mason, stay as you are. Beckhofen, yes. Imperial Harbor, yes to the Tailors Guild. Yes to more of the weaving houses, a yes to the town upgrade, and I guess once again we're going to go tap room, and paved roads. And then next turn you should be okay. Well, you know what, start collecting the income now. The tap rooms will sort of fix it. Fix it. Anyway, the Circle of the Sun. I really want to start on this, but 8,000 when this is in an unsafe territory and could get suddenly attacked by orcs at any point. Feel like we're not yet there, but we're getting close, as we have several armies moving through Blackfire Pass, and we have other armies getting ready to move southwards, so almost there, guys. Rosefells, yes, go for the weaving house and the village. Don't care about Ward of Rain, don't really care about Griffin Wood, but we can start on the town, I guess, and it'll probably be, I mean, it's a yellow territory, but we could probably still put it to use. Stay as you are for now. Grungzint, we will be trading you to Bretonia. Fort Yakovo, we will be trading you hopefully in a turn or two. Negenhof, yes, we will definitely upgrade you, and as well as your clothier. And I guess start off with a taproom until we're ready to replace these with the temples of the minor gods. Arvik, you're fine. Dukkaraz, you will be... Actually, I don't know whether you'll be kept or traded, so we'll hold off on you. Vissenheim, you're going to get attacked by rats shortly. Sinking Geysers, you're fine. Or at the very least, I don't want to pay to invest in you. Mighdal Vongalbarak, we will want you to be traded to the dwarfs, so let's start building. Yeah, go for this building. Alright, I think that's pretty much it. And we don't have much money anyway. Slash Scratch Deep. Oh, what we could do here is build a paved road. Oh, this place is also ready for a city upgrade. Huh, too bad we can't afford it. Alright, well, we'll do the city upgrade and then pop it back into the host festag afterwards. Alrighty, looks good to me. We have no electoral machinations that we can make good use of at the current time. And I believe thus are ready to go. Alright, skip building upgrades, skip the damage buildings at Karakungur, as they will be, it will be traded to a dwarfen faction, most likely Karakadrin. Dolph, it's time to fight once more against, well, he's survived everything. Let's see how 2.5, 3.5 stacks do. Go. Alrighty, there we go. That's a lot of orcs. 3.5 stacks. Let's see if Dolph can pull it off yet again, and whether the enemy can inflict significant and severe casualties upon his army. Though, okay, I guess before we get started, two little housekeeping things. The obvious threshold reached, hour-long, yes, and threshold remains 400 likes, 60 comments, and the next episode will be hour adjacent as well. Eventually we will drop below the threshold, but we will have, I think, 7, was it? I gotta double check episodes banked, nonetheless, so that's always a good thing. The other thing is, for those that have not yet voted, keep in mind to vote for the next coming campaign. Currently, Skaven are at the top by 10 votes. There's currently, I think, 1,750 votes or something like that. So most likely I'll close the poll at about 2,000 votes, or exactly 2,000 votes, and that will decide it. And Skaven are ahead, and the next two factions are within 1 vote of each other as well. So if you think your 1 vote doesn't count, it can literally push one over the edge over any of the others. So do make your voices heard. Anyway, for now, let's make Dolph's voice heard, and his voice is that of the roaring of his tank's cannons.
You are all consummate warriors of the Empire, and with my fearless knowledge, our victory is certain.
Alrighty, here we go again. When will you greenskins learn to not even attempt to fight Dolph? But hey, they got 3.5 stacks of Sam. Let's see if they can pull out a win here. Anyway, the battle will start off over on the right flank with the enemy squig hoppers, as well as a unit of pump wagons heading towards our outriders and our war wagon, of course, and getting hit by the tank, charged by the tank, I should say, while the outriders and pistoliers continue to gun them down. There we go. Ooh, gotta be careful about the grenades from the Wissenland's welcomers, however. Luckily, the squig hoppers will back off. Gonna get some casting through as well as we sort of hold the enemy back with a big old vortex, a flame storm in the middle of our formation. And any units that attempt to flank us will take a charge from the tank, as well as a blast from those outriders. And there's a reason for doing the charges with the tank as well. You can see that we get 40% reduction of speed from suppression, but we have that Dragonfire handgun on Dolph, so both melee and range attacks of his apply flammable, and it's not for the fire damage bonus that we're looking here, or the fire weakness, because we don't really do fire damage in this particular army, I guess with the exception of the Wissenland's welcomers. But what we do is make good use of that slowdown. Anyway, it does look like the first of the enemies have reached our lines now, though the enemy army has at this point taken pretty darn severe damage. Look how many units are routing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, nearly, well, 3/4 of a stack. Yeah, pretty good so far. Partly our units sniping them, of course, especially the fast movers that reached us first, but also 581 kills, 61,000 damage. Siegfried Schumacher with the burning head and the flame storm combined, and doing great work. Again, I wasn't sure about doing the bright wizard in this particular army rather than a light wizard, but at the end of the day, it worked out pretty well. He's doing good work. Again, if you're wondering what the issue is with the Bright Wizard, it's the fact that the Flaming Sword of Ruin, which is a great spell for buffing range damage, is a stationary effect, meaning we can't run and gun and use it particularly well. So essentially we save it for when the army stops to stand still and fire away, kind of like it's doing now, as the enemy Big Boss and War Boss and whatever are attempting to charge forward towards us, together with some of those, together with some of those squiggies. And much as I hate to see them go, you gotta do what you gotta do. Sorry, Mangler Squigs, I don't think you're achieving much this time around. And pop goes the Squiggy. The balance of power shifts to about, let's say, 65% in our favor, but the enemy's got plenty more reinforcements where that came from. Lots of pump wagons, lots of trolls, heroes, etc., etc., etc. Although essentially the first 2 stacks of the enemies have so far failed, and we can reposition ourselves to not only maintain position up on this hill, but also move slightly forward towards the enemy as well. Kind of like a tug-of-war sort of situation that goes on with this army sometimes. Enemy army charges towards us, we back off, and then the enemy starts losing units, and then we start moving forward again. Another hero gets gunned down on his approach. I love seeing the sort of sparks on the shields and on the ground from all of our and gunfire as well. Alright, well, looks like the first two stacks have failed, but we're still waiting for the reinforcements to move on, and they're probably going to be a little bit slow because they're kind of milling around. The boar boys, the pump wagons, the trolls are all most likely going to get in each other's way, but that gives us more time to snipe the rest of the remaining units, like that river troll hag. I wonder if the corpse of the spider is, like, not a physical object, right, in this game? Like, it won't block our shots, will it? Actually, I feel like it might be kind of neat if it did, but I don't think it does. Anyway, enemies backing off. Let's speed this up a teensy bit while we wait for the enemy to try to move towards us once again. Looks like perhaps they will try it over on the left flank. And this time around, Noble Sons Abroad and our regular Pistoliers firing away at them. And the Noble Sons certainly have some much fancier hats than the regular Pistoliers. Alright, and they're currently sniping those pump wagons. They are a potential threat in the sheer numbers that the enemy has them here, but they are once again very, very fragile. Ooh, though the enemy is using this hill sort of for cover, as our main army wouldn't be able to fire upon them there. That said, moving around like that will mean individual units perhaps getting targeted a little bit more, and that ain't so great. You gotta use your mass to charge towards us. Other than the Bright Wizard and the Vicinland's Welcomers, this army doesn't have a crazy amount of splash damage, and is more likely to target individual units, and is thus a unit more liable to get mobbed and overrun by giant piles of enemies. We did see that happen with the Wood Elves when this army fought them, at least to some degree. And there was, of course, the situation that the Wood Elves had a lot of range with them, and thus we had to keep backing off, and rather than continuing to do damage, a little bit more than we would against a melee-heavy army like the Orcs. But nonetheless. Anyway, enemies continue to charge forth, but I'd wager probably not for too much longer. The bounce power's at about 85% in our favor now. There we go, grenades and bullets whizzing around as another enemy lord or hero, whatever that was, I guess it doesn't really matter, bites the dust, and it looks like the trolls with their atrocious leadership will realize that they've no hope here, having, well, if they're smart to recognize their army losses, I guess, which I guess they are. At least in this particular situation. But anyway, time to gun them down and run them down, as the enemy did attack us, and so we're going to make sure to punish them for it. They don't have a long way to go to the edge of the map, unfortunately, so most likely we won't be able to kill them all. But all good. As many as we can manage. And I just love watching the steam tanks trundle around. Firing from the, ooh, very nice shot. The grenade launcher, the steam cannon, and the regular cannon all at once. Beautiful. I just love watching that grenade launcher too. Anyway, a really nice fight for Dolph, and the Greenskins once again stood no chance. I think we've well established at this point that Dolph can obliterate Greenskins without too much trouble, and I will try to limit the fights he has going forward against Greenskins and try to move towards other enemies instead. So, where it's possible, perhaps a little bit more auto-resolves for him against the, whatever settlements he can get, maybe even send an auto-resolve helpy army up here until he's ready to fight other foes. Alright, there we go. Once again, nice work from Mr. Dolph Hertvigens, who takes on 3.5 Orky stacks, pretty much just as well as he takes on 1. Very, very nice. And while it seems that he's proven pretty clearly that the Orcs stand no chance against his run and gunners, I'm willing to wager that they might have a little bit more fun against Chaos and against the Chaos Dwarfs, which are rather close to where he currently is. So I guess he'll have to meet them and see what he can do. Otherwise, he's got 500 kills and 51,000 damage for himself, which again is pretty darn impressive considering he's not a caster. He's just a guy in a tank. But again, it is a tank in a medieval battlefield, so gotta expect it to do well. The war wagons, 23k, 44k, 75k, and 70k. Yeah, certainly now that the Wissenberg's welcomers are racking up XP and traits and all that, they're starting to perform really, really well. As generally speaking, I guess the generally speaking, they do have a tendency to perform. I'm just realizing now that I didn't put any names in Dolph's army. Alright, I'll name them a couple. I'll put a few names in there as soon as we're done with this turn. 2,000 gold. It's a little bit of healing, but I don't think I'm going to say no to 2,000 gold. It's good.
Take what they have, then set them loose.
A little bit of leadership and a little bit of money. You know what? I think once I did this, and there is a follow-up event that can be really negative with risking more Sleep's Wrath, so I'm not going to do it. Improve the omens. Trickster's cult discovered in Valhelden Schloss, and Castle Templehof as well. Okay, well, we're at least discovering the cults, even if the Sterlanders are not. Sacrifice to Mathan performed. Settlement besieged. Blackclaw Lair, Dragonback Mountains, preventing us from healing. But it's a single army. I don't think that's gonna fly, or at least it's not gonna go so well for you. Enemy killed in battle all over the place. Luckstone, Competent Protector, Master Mason, Wand of Jet, a Tradesman. Okay, we should put that Tradesman on somebody immediately. I wish I remembered whether Tradesman can go on Lords or Coachman. Another Trickster. Oh, we just saw those. Those are the Trickster cults destroyed. My bad, my bad. Can we put a Tradesman on Mr. I don't know, Recruiter Van U? You already have a tradesman, because of course you do. What about... you? Tradesman? The love of... Okay. I don't want to waste the... you don't have a tradesman. I don't want to waste it on a lord that could put it to better use. As in, by it I mean the slot, as opposed to the governors or the recruiters, etc., etc., etc. Anyway... So, what you're telling me here is that they did not sally out. So, this used to say Valiant Defeat, but now it does not. And it didn't because we didn't have the siege equipment before. So what you're telling me is that the AI did not sally out, despite the fact that at that time it would have been a Valiant Defeat for us and a victory for them? Which tells me that the AI knows that the auto-resolve is lying here. Or else they would have sallied out. But they're too afraid because they know in reality. Well, isn't that annoying? Okay, we might have to deal with this. I will think about it. I do like the fact that Grom the Paunch is right there, though. I don't want the Fey Enchanters to take too many territories, especially the Bearers of Quidle, because we want those to be, well, to go to us and to trade them, but anyway, we'll deal them in a second. Let us do diplomacy first. Anything interesting? Court of Libaras. We will... How are you feeling about these guys? Not so great, admittedly. However, we will most likely... I mean, they're super friendly with us. They'll be a good trading partner, and we have enough territory to be getting on with. We'll do the non-aggression in the military axis. It won't prevent us from confederating Mr. Volkmar. Alright. The rest of this we can ignore. Yvress is cited, but refusing to trade or anything interesting. Hemray is cited as well. Ooh. Alright, fine. Hemray, let's talk. You want to do a non-aggression pact for now, eh? Yeah, why not? Give us money. Give us your non-aggression. You're dealing with a lot of vamps and stuff down there. We can deal with that. One emperor to another, I suppose. Carrick Ziflin. No, I still don't trust it. I don't trust it because of the wood elves and the fact that they don't like them. So until we're in actual alliances with all the wood elves, we're gonna have to let the we have to forego aligning with the dwarfs as yet. But we shall see. Man, how are the Pace Swords still alive? They lost their last settlement like 30 turns ago, I swear. And they're just keeping it up. Alright, well, also Slaneshi giggle, but good for them. Ooh, Baldric, yes. Go grab this island.
On the trail.
And oh, there's it's a mysterious island, so it's probably not worth. I mean, you can't get materials at sea out of the mysterious island, so it's not as big a deal. You can auto resolve this,
What we've trained for.
and we can we'll heal while moving through our own territory. So take the additional cash because more cash. And you got a smuggler, good for you, and a little bit more treasury. Well, might as well pick up that mysterious island since it's pretty close by anyway. Oh, you can actually land and then heal to full and then grab it afterwards.
Anchor up.
And oh wait, okay, can you stop? Okay, dude. Alright, there you go. I just realized you've gone past rank 12, which means giving us the +8 bonus versus infantry for Wolfkin, and +12 range and bonus versus large ammo for Huntsman, which is good. Casualty or punishment right here. Why not? I don't see why we would forgo it. We would also then want to upgrade the Wolfkin, because everybody else here is Pistol Core, and Wolfkin are Honest Steel, not Emperor's Finest, which is a shame in the sense that they don't get the extra melee defense, but they will pick up a little bit of extra armor, which ain't so bad. And then we'll go through Rally, and then we'll start with Sharpshooter. Yes. Alrighty, and the Empire Captain, assuming that he goes for the cause, will also be able to get a little bit more armor for these guys, and frankly, everybody in this army is super lightly armored, so for the cause is definitely the way to go. For the cause, remember your training, lead state troops, officers, squad, sparring practice, guardian, and I'd love to get Killing Blow, but let's actually start with... well, no, get Killing Blow. It still gives you character XP gain. Let's get Lord XP gain as well. I mean, there's a lot of decent stuff in there. There we go. And then the engineer is saving his points for all of this stuff. Although we're going to be traveling fairly far, so maybe the increased movement range is still worthy of our time and attention. Anyway, I see this guy's still there. Do we bother? I can't believe this guy won't leave. I was hoping that he'd go after Leblia. You know what? Who does this belong to? Oh, then you guys would be sharing territory, and I don't like that. Oh, actually, speaking of sharing territory, what do we have here? Weiler and Fort Yakova.
Forgive me for fraternizing with unbelievers.
-17, and now it's 9,000 gold for less than 2 points. Okay, game. You're being obnoxious right now. Fortunately, next turn it should be fixed, but still obnoxious.
They will surrender.
Oh, right, I forgot about this.
Advance.
Do we want to sack Raziak and that'll allow us to kill this guy? Oh, wow, what the heck? That's a lot of trolls that survived that. I managed to escape the battle. I'm a little bit wary of this, so let's quick save, just in case everything kills off our war wagons again, the auto-resolve, I mean.
We test.
Well, it heavily damaged them, but it didn't kill them. Sack.
Rip the wealth from them.
Then move through this and kill this guy so he doesn't come back.
If they're
Post to the
wise,
sack.
they will surrender.
And I'm gonna quick save this again, because again I don't... it's gonna hurt our war wagons even more, but what can you do? Auto-resolve.
Sigmar and Verena.
Okay, these guys are damaged, but they are still kicking. Let's do the tiny bit of heals. We're fine. Because we can just occupy this place and heal there. Oh, actually, we can't occupy it. We can go into an camp stance, though, and we still heal quite a bit. It is somewhat annoying, but it's not a... I don't think they're going to recover enough for us to be super concerned with them. Kidnapper, Wailing Banner, Enchanted Shield, another Coachman. Can only Lords hold Coachman? Let me just double-check this. Coachman... No, anybody can hold Coachman, so we probably shouldn't put it on Lords. Because they have other things that they can hold, probably more important stuff. Anyway, you have triangulation. We should probably get you Sigmar's Warden, Master of... Now, we should prioritize extra powder. Now, let's get you, I don't know, I guess Bandolier. It really doesn't matter in this particular situation. And because none of the other traits are useful for you at this current time. You. Red Team Disciple, enemy leadership for enemy characters is okay. The Under Siege stuff is completely useless, but I don't dislike the ambush defense chance, so we can still probably get that to get at least some benefit out of it. And let's pop in Mark of Hish as well. You, Bright Wizard. I was gonna say Onslaught. The weapon strength melee attack, though, admittedly is not super useful, but we can still move towards Potent, so let's go through Onslaught, I guess. And then, yeah, in SFO, the wizards are very point hungry. Anyway, looks like Master Engineer Dolph Hertvigens is now a rank 50. As somebody pointed out in the comments of either last episode or the episode before that, basically it seems that when SFO and Old World are combined, it seems to skip through between rank 40 and rank 50, unfortunately. But I suppose it's not a huge deal in the sense that the reason we are at rank 40 on most of our lords, well, maybe not most, but many of our lords, is that we already have so many buffs to our XP that it makes sense that we'd reach rank 50 very quickly anyway, since we get like 3 levels per battle. So not a huge deal in this particular campaign, in my opinion. Anyway, we have everything, don't we? At least in the red line. We do. Huh. You don't have a warrior priest, so funnily enough, you're one of the armies where a logistician would come in handy, and I don't know, Dolph, you sound like a logistician to me. Alright, fine, maybe we'll do that. Let's do Reassuring Presence. 1, 2, 3. Iron Disciplinarian. We will want to do Survivalist for the bonus HP. I don't dislike Fleet-Footed, so I'd like to save 2 points for it. There's also Hard to Hit. Let's see, if we do Irrepressible, we could do 1, 2, 3. We won't be able to get Headhunter, unfortunately. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the speed, even more speed. 6, 7. Or we could do 2 points in Logistician. Alright, you know what? Let's do Fleet-Footed. I mean, I personally just think that Dolph has earned his... he's earned his stripes in the sense of being given as much power-ups as possible because he's done so much good work. And everything else I think is fine. Let's do Logistician, just to get the little extra bit of healing. Granted, there's basically all of this would be good, but he's 2 point hungry for it, so no dice there. A little bit of extra healing will do nicely, especially for the times that we don't have the Forsaken Crown up and running, and because the auto-resolve kind of dislikes him. Honestly, it's kind of, I've always felt it kind of a bizarre disparity in the sense that in comparison of how good run-and-gun armies against the AI as compared to how bad the auto-resolve likes to treat them. Go take Oakenhammer. And yeah, I see these guys still running around. I still don't know when we can declare war on them. It has to have been at least 5 turns, right? Guess we wait 5 more? I don't know. Maybe 3 more and risk it. Risk completely tanking our reliability. Okay, well, whatever. These guys are still fighting each other, right? They are. Ooh. Just forgot about the Goblin Heroes. We're gonna need some of those. I'm deciding what to charm me yet, but there is still a lot of fun stuff to try out. Jürgen Wagner. Oh man, these guys are all over the place. I would like you to get the Northern Mariners. Like so. Ooh, we're at 2 out of 2 on these guys. Ooh, wait. We are 2 turns away until requisition. Okay. You're missing your 2 land ships. We could go 2 land ships and 2 Slayer Pirates, or 3 land ships and no Slayer Pirates. Admittedly, the Slayer Pirates don't give us too much value in this army compared to other armies. And while they do work with the theme, they're basically identical to our Nordland Mariners and would, between the stats, probably be slightly worse, minus the fact that they are capable of being unbreakable. And obviously we're keeping the regular tier 1 free company militia, though their damage is tiny, but I love them, and they are pretty good. This army could potentially be an issue for us. But if we leave this guy will retake Arvik. Maybe that's okay. Maybe we don't care that much about it. We're mostly here for adventure. Alright, let's see what we got here. Taste for battle doesn't help us, and strength of hardship nor does that. We've got pistol core, and we've got mighty forge for the oncoming land ships. Meaning, we should probably grab flow of battle. Let's get you Scarred Vet, and let's get your flow of battle, and yeah, okay, you're not on a horse. Do we have any kind of banner that would work for you? I'm saving the steel standards for a particular army, so you're just gonna have to sit there. Banner of swiftness, you're fine. We don't need a burger in this army. No, well, actually we will need a burger in this army for the land ships, so keep those. Griffin banner, leadership -5. That I was going to put in another army that has leadership reductions. I no longer remember which one it is, but you know what, let's grab a couple of Gleaming Pennants. The units of Free Company are a little bit you know, weak in the sense that they might need them, so why not? Scarecrow Banner, not a huge deal, I think, in this particular force. I could double up on the standards of discipline as well. What's the Ogre's leadership? 99. It's pretty darn good. We just max out the Gleaming Penance. I really don't see the Lord routing, so it's only a +4 leadership, which is basically nothing. Frankly, it's probably not even worth the space. You know, I don't like it. Take out the Gleaming Penance, yeah, whatever. Take out the Gleaming Penance, and let's put the Standards of Discipline in there as well. Instead, rather. You can also have a Valet, because we want the Magic Item drop chance and stuff, and yeah, go ahead. Grab a Watchman. And the rest of this we can ignore. Alrighty, Gotrek and Felix, let's level you up, and then let's jump on into the next fight. You know what? You're fair. Okay, well, let's start with Treasure Hunter, but well, might as well get Ancestral Grudge since we're about to fight Orcs. I was ignoring Orc Slayer because of the unlikelihood of that, but here we are. Orcs are coming for us. Good for them. You, Felix, let's max out to Replenishment. We want Prodigious Swordsman, +8/+5, solid for a single point. And I guess we should get you Bolstered Command, which is a pretty solid buff to everybody near you. Lastly, Ulrika, you are going to move towards Arcane Conduit. We should probably still get Occam's Mind Razor. It's a solid amount of damage increase, though it's Pit of Shades that we really wanted. And there we go. Let's fight some Orcs. Now, this army hasn't fought Orcs and is liable to be mostly fighting the Norskins and the... let's put these on the flanks because they're the dangerous position. Fighting the Norskins and the Forces of Chaos out here. Otherwise, this looks good. Yeah. Alright, you know, I gotta say I wasn't originally expecting to be fighting greenskins up in Norska, but I am pleasantly surprised, mostly because this army is and will be fighting lots of Norskins and Chaos, so the greenskins might be a nice little break for Gotrek. Plus, I'm sure he'd appreciate, he'd appreciate it, generally speaking, and due to that old ancestral grudge. Anyway, and Gotrek is first into the fray. And right in the middle of the chaos as we move in to start fighting those Manglers squigs. And I'm just laughing because they're so entertaining to watch. They are popping here and there, however, as Gotrek and Felix continue to swing their weapons at them, and the rest of our army begins its approach forward. I do want to get all of the the party fighting together, so here comes our Grand Master. Once again, I really like the Grand Master's models on foot. They look really nice with the plate and everything. Yeah. I love it. Anyway, gonna get him in there to help out. He's got pretty solid stats. 150 armor, 78, 77 prior to buffs and all. And of course, Ulrika is out here as well. She might be a slightly easier target for some of the enemies because she's on her horse, but that should be alright. She does have the hunger to rely upon. And I suppose the presence of Felix healing her up as well. Anyway, the 4 heroes now fighting together. Come what may. While the rest of the army gets into position and gets ready to move. Over on the right flank, the Nordland Mariners will get charged by the Trolls, but then immediately we will countercharge them with some of those Grand Cauldron Regulars, which should be able to tear through those Trolls. Big old charge from the Grand Cauldron Regulars on the left flank as well, taking half of the HP of this unit of Nasty Skulkers from the charge, and then we'll be probably knocking them out. Alright, quick here. Fragile unit, as they are, but obviously not to be underestimated. And the giant wades into the fray, and ogres see a big old meal walking towards them, and will countercharge it together with the Nordland Mariners as well. And of course, our backline, as in the form of all of our units of, Pistoliers, or Pistoliers, Free Company rather. will start gunning that savage giant down as best they can. The bounce power rapidly shifts to about 80% in our favor as we continue to advance, and the enemy's front line has already buckled. Obviously, since this army was in march stance, they're not having a particularly good time of any of this, as the vigor losses in SFO are severe. And again, I do like that dynamic. SFO makes it very dangerous to go in march stance and take that risk, as the AI can absolutely punish your army for it if you get caught. Anyway, the giant has shattered. The rest of the enemy army is still on field, but I'd wager not for too much longer. Just a few more volleys, a few more swings of those cutlasses, and the enemy army will rout. And the ogres give chase, wading through the hordes of routing greenskins. Ulrika joins the fray. And with that, the enemy army will shatter, and the battle will be ours. A really fun fight. I'm really enjoying this army up in Norska, and can't wait for Todbringer to join them up here as well. Alright, there we go. The Nordlanders are looking like they're doing pretty nice. And you know what? I'm really actually enjoying the watching the Grandmaster fight on foot, so I think this was kind of a happy accident, a serendipitous thing that we decided to put a Grandmaster in charge of this Nordlander army. Nice to see a foot knight rather than always have him on with horse and barding, especially considering that this is an army where he wouldn't be making use of his unique barding, as not one of the Knights Panther or Blazing Sun or any of those guys, or more, as they would otherwise be barded to match, whereas here they're just nothing. Anyway, Orky army destroyed. We can, you know, it's 3,000 gold. I don't think we're saying no to that. Are we immune to... We're not immune to attrition, but we're not suffering any attrition, surprising. Oh, wait, actually, in the march stance... Oh, huh, interesting. You have max move speed, or move range. Alright, fine. We'll go back to Arvik. We'll see if this guy still attempts to retake it or not, and we'll deal with it afterwards. Lovely. Alright. Enemy killed in battle, and you got Seasoned Campaigner as well. Yeah, the adventurers are starting all over the map. Also, you got a tradesman. Can Ulrika hold ya? Tradesman? If I can find you in here, it's only for lords. Do you want a tradesman? I should have remembered that I had just completely filled your stuff. I'm looking for a lord that can hold a tradesman for now, that will not then later be used as a actually functioning lord. You know what? Marius Seitdorf, you can hold a tradesman. He will be used as a functioning lord, but for now, just because. Just because we can. Will you come back, please? Azag? Yeah, last turn. I'm giving him one more turn of a chance, and if he's not back, then we just attack and move. Again, I don't dislike the idea of them. Oh, right, we still can't attack you because of Clan Grutnik. It'll cripple our reliability. Alright, well, I guess, Gavin, you're stuck raiding it for a little bit, and it's all good. Give a little bit more time and chances for other armies to move to do their thing, or to get ready to move to do their thing. Free island. You're going to start moving and channeling, mostly because I don't want to accidentally get killed, well, get this army destroyed by the Red Duke in an ambush or something. Alright, the Eldrick von Blitten still will need a, well, adjustment, let's say, to your army. For now, though, move through the mountain passes and get ready to attack the whatever these guys are, Black Venom tribe. You, Elspeth. Still in need of some stuff, and these Skaven have taken Brovska. Actually, we'd like Brovska for ourselves, so that doesn't actually bother us in really any significant way. Oh, right, I forgot about this. What do we have here? High casualties? Really, high casual, okay. I guess we could do it right now. It's out of order, which is what's bothering me. Go.
Men of the Empire, I am no warrior priest blessed with the gift of making grand speeches. For the good of the Empire, fight! Bring me victory!
Alright, I like how Gelt says he's no warrior priest, blah blah blah, grand speeches, but judging by his quest battles, no, he can certainly make his speech, or at the very least, he can certainly go on. But anyway, here we go. Gelt's getting 2 fights today, I guess, and first against the Skaven, second against the Greenskins, but it's all pretty much the same to the rocketry crews, or the Hellstorm rocket battery crews. Unfortunately for the AI, they are completely screwed here. This is bad terrain, especially since this map essentially has you deploy over on one of these sides, and the AI just doesn't know what to do on this map, generally speaking. The piles of greenskins are still milling around, but they're also at the same time blocked off by a huge amount of impassable terrain, by and large, which we're mostly firing over with our rocket batteries. It's a really nasty army, but hey, Gelta brought those new formulations, that explosive damage increases to our entire faction, in fact, for the rocket batteries. So he definitely deserves to have them in his army. And I guess they hardly need to see the enemies over the hills, behind the lakes, behind those, I don't know, mountain things that are standing there. What would you call this thing? Oh, I mean, okay, this thing is no, I mean, the idle thing is on the front. This piece of rock that's kind of like out there. Well, these things, what are these things called? As somebody who knows some things about formations like this, I would just like to know what to refer to them as. Anyway, all that aside, enemies are still moving towards us. We'll see if any of them manage to reach our lines, though as we saw with the Skaven, when we were protecting that choke point, several of their units, in fact a decent amount of their units, did manage to reach us. Granted, the choke point was a less, unfortunate terrain for the enemy, as odd as that may seem, than this is due to all the impassable terrain. So they still got a long way to go, and their army is rapidly dwindling. The balance of power is at about 70% in our favor. Gelt, of course, flying around and casting his spells as well. 600 kills, 80,000 damage so far. Pretty good. And he is killing both single entities with the final transmutation spam, and of course the piles of enemies with the Gehenna's Golden Hounds and those Searing Dooms. How are our rocket ammunitions here? What do we got? We have plenty more rockets where that came from. I don't think they're running out anytime soon. And yeah, as we can see, the pump wagons, due to their fragility, pump wagons may be overpowered as heck, but again, they're super fragile, so even the rocket batteries are able to damage them, even if it doesn't feel like an ideal target. Ooh, and it looks like the giant, together with a big old pile of whatever and greenskins, might actually be able to reach our lines over on the right flank. Going to switch at least a few of the rocket batteries to fire this way and help the Gehenna's Golden Hounds as well, popping off that final transmutation on the giant to, at the very least, slow it down as well. Mostly because the damage isn't going to be too severe to it. Its HP pool is way too big. But slowing it down and stopping it in its tracks is still a pretty good use of all this, especially 7 move speed between the Plague Rust, up 4 move speed now, and with final transmutation can't move at all. Just a little bit more work and I'd wager the battle will be ours, though it does look like the first of the enemies have actually managed to reach us over on the left flank. That said, as soon as they do, we simply countercharge them, whether it be enemy Boar Boys or Savage Orc Biggins, with those Knights of the Black Rose. Greenskin scum indeed, and slowly but surely we'll cut through said scum. The bounce power is at about 90% in our favor. The combination of pikes and Knights of the Black Rose overrunning the greenskins that did manage to get close enough to us, and with that it looks like the last of the enemies will shatter and the battle will be ours. Certainly does take a lot of those rocket blasts to bring down a big old single entity like this. Certainly there is possibly a reason to pop at least a couple of other range units in here, whether it be snipey type of range units or whether it be another artillery piece or a Luminarch. I'll think about it. Admittedly, the idea of putting a Luminarch in here after Gelt defeated that light wizard is amusing as well, but anyway, with that, the battle is ours. Most of the enemy army will be, if not quite destroyed, severely damaged, and we should be able to auto-resolve the remnants. Alright, there we go. Awesome possum pudding and pie. We've got the enemy pretty much destroyed here with insignificant casualties to ourselves, being 6. Unsurprising considering that the terrain there absolutely screwed the AI over. There was little enough that they could do. We will take additional cash for our trouble. Gelt, again, nearly 1,000 kills and 132,000 damage this time. Every battle creeps his damage up that little extra bit more. Good for him. And he still hasn't been able to go north to grab Akendorf and help the dwarfs reclaim their stuff. Scintillating Shield. Miscast base chance +20 for all enemy spellcasters, barrier hit points, and charge reflection. That's kind of interesting. And another coachman as well. Okay, coachman can go to anybody, so you can have a coachman. And of course you have a coachman already. Alright, you can have a coachman. Ah, you do not have a coachman. And you. Alright, beautiful. So you're currently using Armor of Fortune, so it's another 15 armor, but you currently have a barrier of 234. If we use this Scintillating Shield, we lose the 15 armor, but I think this is pretty solid. There we go, pumping your barrier up to nearly 1,200. I wonder if there is any weapon that would give us additional barrier as well. And just for a little barrier stacking on Gelt. Could potentially be pretty interesting. Actually, speaking of Gelt, go kill this. Maybe in Trench's stance, because that might help with the auto-resolvage. It's a word. Alrighty, auto-resolve. And a little bit of damage to this guy. Okay, that's kind of a rude game, but it is what it is. Rather than take the money, I think if we can reach Komar here, we would want to do so. So go for Komar. I believe, yeah, Wurzag is nearby, so if we could just knock out the mines, that would be just suavely. Occupy. And then a loop back around. Hey, another coachman. Every battle gives us a coachman. Good. And, oh, I should have put this guy into Gelt's army before we did that. Oh, well. I'm dumb. I'm dumb. I had to make my peace with that at some point. And I have, long ago. Anyway, Imperial Pegasus one-handed weapon for Gustel Schneider. I don't know who you are. Let us get rid of one of the pikes. I know they're decently leveled. You are the least decently leveled. But they were only placeholders for Eldred's Guard in this army anyway. And gotta get that NG in here. Alright, this is solid. I don't know whether we'll pop a warrior priest in here. Frankly, I don't think we need to, and we need to maintain enough points for other stuff. We can build another Silverin Guard, but maybe we want to wait again for the Western Provinces. Once again, somebody did suggest the Celestial Dragon Guard, though how long it'll take before these guys are ready to take up to them, anybody's guess? Actually, it shouldn't be so bad because I believe they're a tier 4 unit rather than a tier 5 unit, so a little bit faster than potentially other places. Call to Arms is the recruitment cost reduction, which we will put to some good use eventually. Anyway, like I said, Karl, you're sitting pretty. Gavin, you unfortunately have to sit pretty. I really wish it wasn't buggy with regards to the Skaven there. And yes, Elspeth. You're going to push back towards Akendorf. Funnily enough, you could reach Borovska from here and take it, destroying Feskit as well, before moving back to Akendorf, although I guess There's nobody here to make sure... Oh, wait. If we're not directly at war with these guys, we could have you take Akendorf and allow Elspeth to move that way, and then you move back to the Vale of Webs. At least this way you're not stuck there doing nothing. I do like that, I gotta say. Alright, auto-resolve this. A little bit of damage, but you're fine. And occupy. Alright, Scepter of Stability, Smuggler, sure. And don't collect your income here as yet. Delete the rally field. We will... Wait. We can... Huh. But we don't have the entire province. Do you only need the capital for this? I guess you only need the state capital. Oh, that's interesting. I did not know that. That might or might not make the... conquest through diplomacy of the Bretonnian provinces a little bit easier. As for what this does, corruption minus 20 local region. Oh, so it's basically similar to the Moot and presumably similar to these guys. Sword of the Conqueror, control plus 5 for province, melee attack and weapon strength plus 15. It's okay, it's not great. I guess the question is who we could possibly pop in to be the Elector Count of Lichtenberg. You know, let's just temporarily at least make it Land Admiral Zintla. We're going to make him the Elector Count of something. Wait. Doesn't something give somebody Strider? I just want to double check. It's not Hawkland, is it? No Strider here. No Strider here. I swear something gives you Strider. Because that would be really good on a tank, without, you know, bothering to build another... Okay, am I... Okay, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe there is no Strider. Oh, yes, there is. Elector Count of Nordland. Oh. No, it's good on who has it. And actually, speaking of... Okay, Land Admiral Zintler, hold on to that. We'll probably just keep you there temporarily. But what I want to make sure we do here is give you... We're going to have to lose one of these guys. You know what? Lose the Light College Acolyte for now. I might pop it back in, but for now, I'd really like you to have a Steel Standard because you're the slowest unit in this army and you need to speed up. And we could, funnily enough, use a couple of new Altdorf retinue in this army. Or rather than Slayer Pirates. And just for additional free company type troops. And then just do 2 land ships. I don't dislike the idea. Well, we can always put Slayers in another army. There are probably a couple of armies that I want Dwarf melee units in, and then obviously there we've got the Dwarfen artillery units to consider as well. Yeah, I like it, because we're so free company heavy in this army anyway, and it makes sense. To me, at any rate. Actually, out of curiosity, these guys have how much health? Just to compare to the regular free company? 12,600, so you're at full HP. A little bit more. Alright, there we go. Yes. Almost tempted to remove one of these guys and obviously transfer their name and do 3 land ships, but we'll see. It's not like this army is really banking on that to win fights or anything like that. But at least that's another Elector Count up and running and more state troops up and running as well. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 remaining. Unless I'm mistaken, unless there was another one that we didn't confederate. But you have 5 remaining, which means unify... Oh, it's up to... Ugh. That's going to get expensive, but fortunately we have plenty of prestige. And the rest of this we can ignore. Alrighty, oh, this guy's suffering attrition. You better not besiege this and prevent us from healing. I wouldn't be surprised if you did, though. You, go to Borovska, please. And I assume there was no more rats over here. Wait, so you're telling me that Rictus marched all the way from over here through the mountains and towards us here? I wonder if they maybe confederated another faction nearby and that's why they have these guys here. Well, either way, we'll, you know what? Quick save it. I don't trust that close victory but low casualty thing. That's the thing that got us previously and killed our war wagons. Yeah, see, what the heck are you doing, game? I knew that was gonna happen. Oh, that's so annoying. Okay, well, it is what it is. That's why you quick save. Anyway, folks, I think we're going to call the episode here. I'll just reload and then do that stupid little fight between the episodes because it's a waste of our time. And then when we come back, we will continue the turn. I might as well move the heroes around and do the less sort of annoying aspects of the admin so that we can finish up the turn and then fight more fights coming in at the start of next episode. So, calling it here. Stay tuned for more Karl. Next time, we will proceed to punishing the Grimgor boys and try to restore the, well, now fledgling elements of the Karazank or Grildrin, the Silver Road, to the dwarfs and get them up and running again. We want them teching up because we need their stuff to sort of join with our armies. And of course, with the massive Orky empires completely surrounding us here, 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 and here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and here, well, there's probably a lot more orcs to be dealing with. That said, we are going to be sending more armies north. I believe Boris is pretty much ready to go to start fighting to start fighting in Norska, and whether it be the Norskins or Chaos. And then Karl, like I said, I'm giving him one more turn, and then we're going north to find Skarbrand, Azazel, Throt, etc. And hopefully Archaon. He's going to come down here eventually once he's done puttering around the Chaos Wastes. Anyway, more Karl to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially the threshold for the longer episodes. All glory to the algorithm. Don't forget to vote, and thanks for watching.